All right, hello everyone. It's Mystic Juicer back with some more Yomi action. Sorry for the lower energy on today's cast. This is going to be, I'm slightly under the weather, so I'm going to be a little bit less enthusiastic, probably a little less loud than I am usually. But this is Lum's Lucky Lottery version 3 or 2. Yeah, no, 3. So it is the all random tournament. You must random into your character selection. And yeah, and then the rules are whoever wins, or sorry, whoever loses gets the option of what they want to do. They can either re-random themselves or they can re-random the other person, but it has to be random all the time. And then whoever won has to stick with whatever character they are. So it's a fun bit of tournament. You see a lot of matchups you don't often see, except if a character specialist happens to run into another character specialist. So we've got Caralad versus FaceOnMars here. And we've got Valerie versus BBB, which is an interesting matchup. It's definitely an interesting matchup. Valerie actually has. I feel like Valerie can have a lot of trouble in this matchup. You wouldn't think so because she. You wouldn't think so because she's considered a fast character. But the thing is, if she doesn't have a 10 in hand, and she typically doesn't have a 10 in hand early on in the game, BBB can typically get in pretty free. Yeah, she can power up with aces, but the way to kind of play around Valerie in this matchup is, well, for the first little while, it's kind of your decision how much you want to let her get away with blocking. You can safely hold back as BBB. Throws aren't going to do a terrible amount of damage to you, especially in the early game because Val can't follow them up with anything. So then she's got to go for a cross-up of some kind. And if you have an ace, singleton ace, or if you just, block correctly and don't get blown up too badly, then you're doing fine. Yeah, so pretend for a second that Caralad had led a 3 because he didn't want to go to range at this point, and didn't have a 10 in hand, happened to get blown up by that 7. That's 10 hit points of damage, and already Valerie would be behind in the life total game. So the way this will typically work is that eventually, probably, Valerie will get taken to range. Then, there'll be some difficulties where she has to navigate some mix-ups. And then finally, she gets out of range and she has fairly few hit points and then has to just run BBB down with, good dodges to avoid double ace, because that is, of course, 21 damage at 0.2 speeds, which is a very difficult speed for Valerie to contest. I would have preferred... yeah, so okay, so he dodged into king expecting it to set range, but that only works on overdrive turns. So this is another challenge of Lum's Lucky Lottery, is you have to really you really have to learn characters basically on the fly. And it's for both players, so you don't often see the most experienced looking matchups, but you definitely see some fun stuff. So there we go. We see that monster move. Honestly, I think that if FaceOnMars just held back and then powered up for aces a bunch, it looks like Caralad is mostly playing an anti-range range. Still has 9 cards in hand. Throws start to hurt a little bit at this point if you do get hit with them, but even then, that still is going to put Valerie in a position where she is going to need to play the block poke, block anti-throw poke range to get out of a lower hand, and that's that's difficult for her to avoid range again. So I think this matchup actually has a lot of play in it. I think a while back when I was looking at it or considering picking Valerie into BBB, because I was looking for some character other than Rook to beat the robot with. I didn't like it. I didn't have very good experiences with it. I struggled to really agree that it was advantaged. like people were telling me, which is probably not incorrect. But it is definitely, it's not a blow up. I don't think this is on the order of like a 6-4 matchup, because the truth of the matter is BBB only really needs to play block ace ace and counter pokes, like counter throw pokes occasionally. Doesn't need to really risk playing throws. Ooh, blocks the 360 spin. He's a knower confirmed. So nice bit of life lead right now. He is down 1 joker, which is a bit difficult. I think that joker early on was pretty premature. I think he was on something like a 7-card hand. It doesn't really hurt to take some spaghetti normals, even if he even had a combo at that point. Ooh, nice. Bold 4 attack. Punches out a throw, and we go to range. So now at least BBB gets an opportunity to play fairly safe. Nothing he does is particularly risky. Okay, betting a lot of cards here just to see if he can find some additional damage. Joker is real, but that is 1 less Joker for Caralad to spend to get out of range. So the thing that BBB's got to worry about here is a immediate queen, or the mix-up to immediate queen, which is just a block, and expect to see BBB go for a dodge or something. Okay, no, goes for a 4-poke, strongly implying that he does not have any face cards in hand. Caralad now having to discard cards because he has too many in hand. Let's see, he has not, yeah, he spent 2 throws, so there's no danger of him running out of resources. Hasn't spent any 10s. 2 aces in the discard, so that makes that slightly less likely. Nice dodge from FaceOnMars. I like the 4 to bait that move. Okay, and does have the queen, and now working on a beautiful life lead. So the longer this range goes, the better it's going to be for FaceOnMars. The more time he's going to have to be able to assemble pairs to be able to get ace-ace back in his hand when range inevitably ends. Or if range doesn't end, then he just wins. So that's fun too. So I actually kind of like the normals as a result of that. Now, granted, he's essentially given up 26 points of damage that he could have gotten there. But it also does mean that he is cycling and hopefully getting more cards in hand that he can turn into ace-ace when he needs to. Okay, Caralad powers up for single ace. So we could see that come out here, but again, it's either ace or block as a mix-up. He could also dodge, but since it's either an attack or block mix-up because he can't throw because he's at range, BBB can very safely dodge to defer range or to keep range going 1 more turn. Okay, gets rid of a 10, so probably has a few more of those than he really needs in hand. Those are very important tools. You kind of need them once you get out of range in this situation to be able to undercut something with a very fast combo starter. So it doesn't really serve you much to hit with double ace or with single ace because it's only 10 damage. It gives you a card, but that doesn't really advance your game plan all that much. And you are still, you know, if you're losing that combat to something faster, you're losing it to ace-ace. So you would much rather take the risk on a combo starter that may, you know, lead to, you know, 40 points worth of damage, so you only need to hit 2 of them rather than run into something silly. Ooh, FaceOnMars with the patience and blocking the mix-up king. So he went black red, played black king first, and followed up with a red king. Of course, you can get slightly better odds probably by doing black king into black king. Of course, if you do that, your opponent now has 100% block rate on your attacks by blocking red for the rest of the game. Okay, so this should be interesting. He has not, I believe, powered up for the 2 aces in his discard. So one of the parts of this mix-up is missing. Could be going for double ace into single ace pump. Okay, went for the safe stuff, waiting for the dodge. Did not want to try to raw throw into potentially a bajillion damage. Caralad similarly did not want to risk attacking into anything crazy. So he was like, okay, at least if you king throw me, I'm only taking 11, I think it is. And we go to range, but if I lose combat to a dodge, I could potentially be dodged into 21 points of damage with ace-ace. I could potentially be jacked for uninterruptible damage. That would be, you could do 21 damage off of that, possibly more if he's got a queen that he can follow that up with. Oh, and that's going to be it. If he doesn't have a joker here, that is going to be game 1. That is 10 free damage and then 2 combo points. So he can elect to try to go for kill. And I would suggest he does. There's no reason not to spend. You've got 11 cards in hand. There's no reason not to spend the cards there. That's an interesting one. I don't think that does set range, does it? No, okay. It gives him the knockdown, though. So we could see ace-ace come out here. Although, given that he didn't follow that up with ace-ace, I doubt he's actually got it. Okay, it goes for another overdrive. Very high likelihood we're going to see a jack here. There is nothing that Valerie can play that knocks down off of attacks. Off an attack. Off an attack. Therefore, jack is completely unopposed here. That is going to be the threat. See if he respects it. Ooh, wake up throw from Caralad. My God. The cojones on this man. And I'm pretty sure FaceOnMars does not yet have the 2 remaining aces. I'm a little bit surprised he has not powered up. And I'm a little bit surprised at this face down. I hope it's not a real joker. Okay. And I hope that he actually has the other joker. That was a good bluff. The reason I would say don't spend the joker there is you're not really worried about Valerie's throw damage. You're worried about Valerie's, attack starter damage. So you can afford to take the damage there. I like the face down because it possibly moves Caralad to going for a bluff. Although with this much life differential, you may want to hold on to that card if it's a crucial power-up piece. Ooh, okay. Let's see if this is undercut. Yes, it is. This is where we could see big damage. Expect Caralad to play. Okay, yes. Does have to spend 2 burst of speeds on that. And is going to start cashing in bold strokes. Wow, okay. The boldest of strokes. So this is where you want to have had, my God, okay. Do you have the 4th one? Do we have the dream? Jesus Christ. All right, I hope that FaceOnMars has the real Joker here. Oh no, does not even face down. This is going to be just an impossible amount of damage. 57. Wow. Okay. All right. The 0 chill Valerie. All right. I'm pretty hyped for that. It's all of Valerie's pent-up frustrations released in an instant. Incredible. All right, so yeah. All right, so FaceOnMars has an opportunity here to either... Okay, so he chooses to re-random himself. All right. I think I agree with that assessment. It didn't seem like he was very, very comfortable with BBB. So, you know, switching to a character you like, having a chance to switch to a character that you are maybe a little more familiar with is better than continuing to play a character you're really uncomfortable with, in my opinion. Because you could re-random Caralad into, you know, Grave, right? You kind of have to play a little bit the odds of, you know, how badly your character gets counterpicked and that sort of thing. All right, so Valerie versus Persephone. Again, I think this is probably, well, you know, honestly, I think it's probably Valerie favored, if only because Persephone has so few hit points. Valerie can have Val hands, though. So Persephone could get some mileage off of early throw, could get a lot of mileage off of Barrier Soul to take some crucial tools out of Valerie's kit. Valerie is not a character who has any recursion. I mean, there's very few of them that do have that, but you know, as soon as you get rid of an option, her options are gone. Something key that Valerie has is she does have 0.2 speed reversals, which are going to beat Persephone's 0.4 speed ace on your knees. So that's pretty important. Let's see if Caralad goes for a poke. Ooh, it's undercut with the 8 throw. Is that the same 8 as earlier? Yes, that is the 8 he blocked with. Okay, just goes for knockdown. Expect Caralad probably to block here. If FaceOnMars has a queen in hand, now's not a bad time to spend a queen. Now would also not be a bad time to wake up throw, though. So far, FaceOnMars has played pretty conservatively. Oh, that might be a timer play. Yes, that was a timer play. Okay, Caralad is going for the safe stuff. You are knocked down, therefore you can't dodge. Therefore, I am going to hit you with this 1.0 speed attack. So the wake up throw or the wake up queen would have been fine. I say the wake up throw would have been fine because at least you're only taking 10 damage. You didn't get hit by a normal attack. That's the thing you're probably most worried about dealing with right there. Because if Valerie happens to have, like, you know, a 3 and 4, 3 6s in hand, then you are taking a lot of damage on a very low health character. Ooh, I don't like these normals. I guess he was expecting Caralad to throw again. That 4 really wasn't going to beat anything. I expect Caralad to hold back on this. Really no reason to follow this up. FaceOnMars has been pretty honest with his jokers. Oh, okay, never mind. Goes in anyway. Wow, and cashes everything out. Jeez, that's bold. I'm a little surprised at that. I mean, he does get to refuel, gets 2 aces for his troubles, but he's on a 5-card hand now against a character who can mind control your turn and has no trouble throwing. So that's kind of tricky. I expect to see a block from Caralad. Maybe playing around. It's either a block or an anti-throw poke. So we'll see if FaceOnMars switches to a dodge style. Nope, okay, gets him. Wow, went for the dodge. That's, again, interesting. He might not have any blocks in hand, actually. And if he has no blocks in hand, that means he also doesn't have any throws in hand. Okay, gets the 8 back. I agree with that choice. King does a fair amount of damage. Actually, no, that's not true. Caralad could have blocks on his 5 and his 6. So if he has either of those, he could have the blocks he needs. Expect Caralad to wake up with an ace here. Hope FaceOnMars dodges it. Hey, there we go. We're doing it. We're getting the mix up. So any knockdown here will do. Nice, into the other king. With the king in hand, though, I think it would have been better to throw with the 8 he just recurred, because he does get the other king back, and then you can power up the kings to start getting aces in your hand. But yeah, Persephone is a difficult character to manage. This is not fast timer, but if you're not used to her, if you're kind of learning her kit while trying to play her, and FaceOnMars has a fairly limited roster of characters that he plays at this time. Okay, didn't believe that he would dodge again. So gets hit with 10 damage there. Again, not the worst thing to get hit with. And I don't disagree with trying to go for the 3. Okay, there we go. Single ace in hand at least. Single ace in hand at least. Caralad may here go for a queen. Just to hedge against the possibility of single ace or double ace. FaceOnMars might also think that with double ace kind of threatened off that power-up that he'd get away with a throw, so that's possible. Okay, so he did think that, or some version of that. Gets hit with another big chromatic orb, and those orbs are stacking up. A lot of damage. That's 30 damage with aces so far this game. Still, FaceOnMars with 11 cards in hand should have a bunch of options. We know he's got at least a dodge. Okay, there we go. Berry Soul is nice. And force away that 10. Force Valerie to play a slower version of herself. She's still going to have 2.4 speed normals, I think. Yeah, 0.4 speed normals, but so does Persephone. So it's not as bad to run. Nice, I like the bold 7 throw. Does he have the follow-up with ace-ace? And is he going to cash it out here or next turn? Okay, so he's only going to get 1 card back. I think very likely he should fish for that 7 or that 10. Okay, gets the king back, threatening a high-speed throw. I believe he still has, there's still a known 4. Yeah, I think he had another 4 in hand that he recurred 1 turn. So there's a dodge throw mix-up here. Caralad can throw into that, and notably FaceOnMars probably doesn't have another double ace, so it's unlikely he can get knocked down off of this next turn. Okay, there we go. That's just as good. Equalizing the health totals. Yep, definitely ace, a 10, and something. Ooh, doesn't get the 10. Moving a little too slowly for the timer, unfortunately. He's got to pass as quickly as possible to get himself as much time as he can. Yeah, a lot of decisions need to be made as Persephone here. So he has dodged quite a lot on knockdown. See if he does the same. Ooh, I like that. That's a good trade. Doesn't quite advance the clock as much in FaceOnMars' favor as it could have with a successful dodge. But that's not too bad. 9 health against 8 health, and you've got a slight life lead anyway. Yeah, you know what? That's probably in Val's favor. She can kill off of 1 combat here. FaceOnMars probably cannot. He does not have 2 aces in hand at this point that we know of. He's got at least 1 ace. Ooh, and this is probably it, unless he has another joker. This could do it. Yeah, he's got counters he could use. Yeah, there we go. Okay, this is a good use of the counters. He's only at 6 cards. I think he has to accept this life total. Oh, this is actually kind of difficult, because depending on how many counters FaceOnMars has, he might not be able to get anything done here. And at this point, yeah, I think he has to spend it, because otherwise he doesn't cycle the card. He just puts himself down on cards and may not even be able to kill. FaceOnMars has to face down. Yes. Hopefully that's a joker. Okay, that's big damage. Is it enough to kill? Ooh, he's got the Joker, and that could be it. So long as FaceOnMars has a dodge, he should be in very, very good shape. So that is 4. So of the 8 cards in his hand, 4 of them are aces. He spent, not all that many throws, actually. So, but he only has 4 versus 25 in terms of where those throws are distributed. So you could take a bet on a dodge here. If I'm Caralad, I'm throwing if I have it. There you go. I think that was a good call. FaceOnMars just had the answer. Notably, a dodge might have been good as well. The difficulty, because the only thing that kills you there is a throw. The difficulty with dodging there is you can't, even if you successfully do it, you're not going to kill. So you need to do twice, at least. But FaceOnMars gets himself on the board. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Ooh, okay. who is this red character? It's a glitch. All right. Okay. This is a very rare treat for me. I get to commentate a Jaina game. This almost never happens. All right. So, wow, Jaina. Worst character in the game, I think, personally. So the difficulty here, now the thing about Jaina is that she gets explosive damage, right? She gets explosive never-ending damage. The difficulty she faces is that it comes at the cost of her health total. Now, she only has to hit Persephone like twice if she's got the right cards. Ooh, there we go. That's the way it starts. Okay, how many kings do you have? No face down either. Okay, not a ton of kings. Still, that is 20 damage off of 3 cards. We are likely to see... we might see all 3 come back. Those are not bad cards to have. The Jack is good to just tag on as damage if you don't have aces. But that's fine. I think that is a perfectly fine trade. You dealt 20 to take 9. Or 18 to deal. So you dealt exactly twice as much damage. You have higher starting hit points. So you're working on a 20 hit point lead. That's not bad. It's basically 1 successful on your knees worth of damage from FaceOnMars. If FaceOnMars is bold here, he will play some throws. If he's playing safe, he's probably going to reduce his range to single queens in neutral, double ace in neutral. Yep, some blocks are good as well. This can fish. This can fish for jacks. If Caralad is willing enough to risk giving Persephone additional cards by playing jacks for big chip damage, that's one thing. So you can then poke out those jacks with some relatively slow normals, right? Your 3s, your 2s, your 3s, your 4s. As it is 4.6 speed, I believe. Yeah, 4.6. So Persephone's 4s sneak right under it and go 4, 5, 6 into Jack, big damage. Or 3, 4, 5, 6 for all the aces. There we go. Nice. Caralad spending the 10s so that they earn the discard, at least doing some work for him there. So every time Persephone dodges, she is going to take 2 damage for every 10 in Jaina's discard. Have not seen any abilities used by Caralad. The only ability that Jaina has that Persephone will ever counter is her unstable power turns, where she gets to play a 50-50 guessing game with you. Ooh, another big throw def. 9 cards in hand, this could be big. Definitely want to face down here. Ooh, again, free damage. How much will it be? Have aces been discovered? No, they have not. 18 points of damage, that's okay. But we are rapidly entering the late game here. And Jaina is still at 55 hit points. That is still a tremendous amount of health. And there we go. Aces powered up 4. So those aces are going to do work. They have a single ace 0.8 speed side and a double ace 0.2 speed side. So you don't want to be trading into double ace with single queen as Persephone. That is very, very scary. So he's got to be worried about either single ace or throw or even dodge into aces. Very difficult mix-up here for FaceOnMars, and he definitely is looking for a combat win. Ooh, does not find it. We see that dodge. He went for a throw punish with the fast side of Jack. Okay, doesn't take too much damage there. Unfortunate that he had to spend the real Joker on that turn, as these coming mix-ups are going to be even more deadly and more powerful. Okay, puts the threat of on your knees on the table. I think if I'm Caralad, I'd probably go for a cross-up attempt here. Or if I'm FaceOnMars, I'm blocking. Ooh, okay, he went for the trade. So that is... Yeah, no, that clash is definitely in Caralad's favor. Again, 8 hit points to 9 hit points, very similar damage spreads. But of course, Caralad has the life lead. FaceOnMars is basically 1 throw or attack loss from death here. It's almost dead to single ace. Okay, that clashes. That could have been worse. It could have been better. Definitely feel like FaceOnMars could have been dodging way more this turn, or this game, than he is doing at the moment. But it's not over yet. He has a single dodge left. It is not yet to the point. There's not yet enough 10s in the discard that he is checkmated in any way. Jaina can absolutely set up checkmate situations against Persephone with enough jokers, with enough 10s in the discard. Ooh, went for the super read of Mistress's Command, looking for the throw. And I think just Caralad is just like, oh, okay, well, you're afraid of being thrown, so I'm just going to dodge a bunch, and I will be absolutely fine. And now it is rapidly coming to the finish line here. So Caralad has not powered up at all. So this leaves a sliver of a chance for FaceOnMars to make a comeback. There we go. That's how it starts. Double ace undercuts king. Puts Caralad at 25. And importantly, gets cards back. So we should see... Okay, queen coming back is good. This puts the threat of the queen firmly in Caralad's mind. Now FaceOnMars gets an opportunity to either dodge the clash if Caralad has double ace or queen in hand, or to go for a sneaky cross-up. Oh! 10 throw from Wake Up. A very bold play. Nicely done. Pays off for him. And Caralad sneaks ahead. So I expect that we will probably see FaceOnMars re-random himself. He probably has more experience against Jaina than he does playing Persephone. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. I remember one of my games in this format was I randomed myself into oh nice, okay, this is Face on Mars's main. So he should be far more comfortable in this character than we have seen him. But the other thing is, yeah, I randomed into Minelker back when I played. Like, I had no idea what I was doing at all with any character that had less than 90 hit points. Some would say 95 hit points. And when I re-randomed myself, I randomed myself back into Minelker. And then, of course, my opponent re-randomed into Minelker, and we had Minelker Dittos for the final game of the match. So this format, this tournament format is pretty fantastic. All right, opening 9 throw from FaceOnMars. No follow-up, just gets the knockdown. That makes sense. I don't think you can get too crazy. Although maybe you can get pretty crazy against Jaina. Assuming you have a 2, you can probably pretty safely navigate the the knockdown game. Here, of course, we have the threat of 1.0 speed king, either attack or throw. Okay, Caralad is like, nope, I do not want to deal with that mix-up. I don't think you're going to dodge. And even if you dodge, it's just 12 damage. I would far prefer to risk that than get blown up by 1.0 speed king, lead into a ton of damage, or just knockdown again. So king into 6/7 is what, 25? Yeah, 25 and knockdown. You get the king back. Ooh, undercut by the 2. It's gonna be rough. Wing combat, take damage. Yeah. So I do wish that FaceOnMars would calm down and block a little bit more. Like, very, very aggressive here, and it's not really serving him particularly well. Caralad is playing the spag combo. Yeah, we'll probably see all those cards come back. That was 19. Oh, okay, just the 3. Okay, gets the 6 back. I guess either has a copy of the 5, or just wants the 6 for the mix-up potential more than anything else, or just as a combo filler. Is pretty good. So you can typically oppress Jaina with moves that are faster than 2.4 speed in neutral. Nice block. There we go. Finally getting a bit of card advantage here. Getting a few more options into his hand. Caralad has really not shown that he is willing to play too many throws in the neutral. He typically uses them as closers. He's playing a very conservative range that really respects FaceOnMars as an aggressive player. It's respecting an aggressive range. Okay, so no harm, no foul, gets that 7 back, but definitely indicating that he does not have a 2 in hand yet. So if he has drawn a 2, I would love to see him play it right now because I think it has pretty good odds of success. Jaina now with 10 cards in hand. Does have a 10, known 10 in hand, so could conceivably continue blocking just to get that in the discard. Well, you don't want to get thrown by... There we go, nice. I like the 2 there. I like the 2 a lot. Again, you wouldn't have played the 7 if you had the 2. Therefore, following up the 2, you have pretty good odds of finding, you know, aggressive king or an aggressive 2 poke, that sort of thing. Okay, powers up with 9s. Single ace in hand. Very good throw follow-up with double ace. Vendetta's aces get a lot of guff for being not all that great. And it's true, they're not the most efficient or effective aces or super, but 18 throw damage for 2 combo points is still pretty good on a 4 combo point character. Okay, interesting. I'm surprised to not see a bluff on that turn. I think if Caralad throws, it's going to be here. Although we could also see just like a 2 or a king here. I think both of those are pretty reasonable. Again, if he's respecting FaceOnMars as somebody who's going to lay out a lot of haymakers. Okay, no. Expected him to play safe and got him with the throw. Yeah, it's got to be flustering for FaceOnMars right now. Okay, did not follow up into big damage. That's actually really good. So he has known 2 in hand. Oh no, sorry, he dodged it. Crap. Okay, so we have potentially... so I think he's odds are to attack even if he's going to attack. Okay, no, just goes for another dodge. Getting a lot of 2s out of FaceOnMars' hand. Caralad playing very passively, allowing FaceOnMars to come to him. Saying like, okay, you know, if I dodge, the worst thing that happens is you throw me. You're not throwing all that much, but if you do, probably have less combat damage off of that than an attack. And if I win, then I potentially take away an important tool of yours. And occasionally I'm going to put a really fast attack out there. Ooh, there we see it. And because of that 7, I was expecting an even attack if he does go for it. Well, this could be big. No, okay, it doesn't have a tremendous amount. It's still a lot of damage, though. 20 damage off of 2. Gets the normal draw off of this, and I expect him only to pick up the dodge, maybe the king. Or maybe the knee bash. Okay, yeah. I mean, a block is lethal now if he hits it with a jack. A dodge is lethal if he dodges into a jack. Her throws are 7 damage. And there we go. Controlling the neutral with Jaina. He's got the dominant speed attack. It'll kill if it hits. So FaceOnMars has to duff a throw or block a dodge or an attack, dodge a dodge or an attack. I'm very confused about that 10. I'm very, very confused about that 10. I don't see why you wouldn't just dodge with the 2. Oh, there we go. Unless he's got the 8. But it's very unlikely. Nope. All right, I actually don't know if this is first to 4 or first to 3. That is game 3. So I'm not sure if we will see rats. Is there another round after this? Seems like it. All right, so he could choose to re-random. Nice, okay, it's first to 4. Sweet, 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 sweet. Okay, so Caralad is on match point. Then FaceOnMars is on his main, chooses to re-random Caralad. And we will see if he has better luck against this next character. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Yep, sometimes random gives you your main. Alright, FaceOnMars, ruin this guy. Now the only difficulty here is Lum has essentially gifted Caralad with with the best possible counter pick, because what happens is if Caralad loses, he gets to choose whether he wants to put whether he wants to re-random himself, or if he wants to re-random FaceOnMars. And there's almost no reason not to re-random. Like, you're Trock, you are the best character in the game. Why not just re-random your opponent? Doesn't matter what they get. You're going to use Trock to seal the deal. All right, opens up with a 2 throw, catching a king throw. Ooh, gets hit with the armor. Oh, actually, no, this might... Oh, okay, no, never mind. It doesn't get defeated by knockdown. So he is going to be knocked down this turn, but he does still deal 10 damage. And your victory condition against Vendetta is just to deal 75 hit points worth of damage. Okay, chooses not to go for a cross-up attempt. Or a king throw. FaceOnMars looking to catch Wake Up Joker, Wake Up Ace Ace, Wake Up Queen. Any of those would have been nice. So he can maybe think, you don't have any of those. And if he doesn't think that he has queens or aces, then he can more safely go in with big pokes and throws. He can shift to an aggressive range. Okay, hits him with the 2. Caralad again, playing a range that you play against a person that you are not sure what they're going to do. So very attack block heavy. I'm going to expect him to largely, especially in this matchup, you have to dodge into, oh, that could be painful. Well, no acro, could face down here, but probably better to hang on to that for future turns. This is going to be a pretty significant amount of damage, should be 21, I believe. Okay, 18, never mind. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, FaceOnMars now does have to respect Ace Ace in neutral. Can't respect it too much though, or he's going to get thrown to death, but I expect Caralad just to go back to blocking. Block, play Q. No reason for him to extend at all. He's got a very nice life lead, he can sit back on it. FaceOnMars has to get aggressive with throws and win combat with throws. Yep, and that's just not happening at the moment. Okay, all of these trades in Trock's favor. FaceOnMars very worried about throws that I believe are just not going to come. If we see a throw this game, it's going to be dodged into Beast Unleashed, or it's going to be King Throw in neutral. Although now with 2 2s gone, we could see more normal throws, because they're going to lose to kind of the same amount of things. Probably follow up with an 8, just to try to close out the match. Yeah, and this is looking very, very difficult for FaceOnMars to come back with, or to come back from. Expect Caralad to dodge here. Very low risk dodge. He can get put on his back. If he has Ace Ace, he can dodge into it. If he gets thrown, and if he does dodge and he gets thrown and he has Ace Ace, he can just wake up Ace Ace. Like, all of these are fine. There's no reason to expose yourself to much risk by throwing or anything. Okay, there we go. That works out nicely. FaceOnMars gets an opportunity to make something happen here. If he's got the king, this could work out nicely. Okay, there we go. Comebacks have been made with less. Expect Caralad to block or queen on this turn. Queen if he has a joker. Block if he doesn't. I suppose he could just wake up normal with the joker backup, but I wouldn't recommend it. You run into the risk of FaceOnMars just happening to have 3 aces. Then you're in a pickle. FaceOnMars deep in the tank. Caralad has Wake Up Throne before. I don't think you really make that adjustment in your range. Nice. Bold K throw. Making a call on the fact that Caralad doesn't have anything left and is not willing to risk a wake up normal in that situation. With this much of a life lead, he can afford to block a bunch and hope that FaceOnMars makes the mistake on his behalf, right? By revealing anything that isn't a throw. And there we see Wake Up Queen, so that will not close it out. Yeah, you probably have to acrobatics that. That's very unfortunate. So nice play on Caralad's part. He blocked the first turn, indicating that he doesn't have anything to deal with King. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Yeah, that dodge was a long time coming. Another face down. And now if Caralad has a queen, he wins. Queen or fast jack. Or ace-ace. All of that will chip enough. Unfortunate stuff. So FaceOnMars actually needs another acrobatics and dodge in hand to survive this turn. Ooh. And that's going to do it. Nicely done by Caralad. Very controlled the game very, very nicely. And it closes things out 4-1. So hopefully, sorry that I was not as active and exuberant this game as I have been in the past, but hopefully you enjoyed it nonetheless. I'm looking forward to, I am competing in this format, so I am looking forward to playing my matches, and I'm looking forward very much to seeing more games played. I like this format a lot. All right, until next time, cheers.